I was recently in New York and got asked a very hard, but also very interesting and very important question by a major landlord in the city, which is, we understand indoor air quality is super important and we really want to do something about it. However, the problem that we face is that most of our buildings are old buildings and they were simply never built to bring in the amount of fresh air that we want to deliver to our occupants. At the time of original design, we were not aware of how important this was. So what do we do now? And while I don't have the perfect answer for this, I do want to say, and by the way, I would love to hear everybody else's answers to this question, how you're thinking about this. But I really do want to say that we cannot give up on our old buildings. Our old buildings are really, really important. And of course, it's not just from a cultural and historical perspective, which absolutely is important. We should absolutely cherish our existing old buildings. But it's also just simply not realistic to say, we'll tear down a building and put a new one up, because the carbon cost of doing this can be incredibly high. So it's really important that we find a way to take our existing buildings and upgrade them so that they do perform like a new building when it comes to the occupant experience and occupant health and well-being. And I think there is a shining example of that, which is the Empire State Building. We're lucky enough to have Kaiterra indoor air quality monitors throughout the Empire State Building. And indoor environmental quality is actually one of the 4 fundamental pillars of the Empire State Realty Trust. So this is something that they take very, very seriously, and they've invested resources in, as can be seen in the Empire State Building. And so I think this is just a wonderful example that an old and iconic building absolutely can be modernized, amenitized, and can have world-class indoor air quality. Sometimes it will take a little bit more effort, but it is absolutely doable. And there's also some strategies, maybe some low-hanging fruit that can sometimes be taken. Fundamentally, if there's not enough air coming into the building, the option that you always have is to reduce occupancy. And that might sound a bit silly. We can't just knock the number of occupants in the building in half. But sometimes there are smart strategies that can be taken with regards to where in the building people are. The reality is often that it's not the entire building that does not have enough fresh air coming in or enough outdoor air. It is certain floors, certain areas where the original design simply doesn't work with the way the building is being used now. So perhaps there's an opportunity to take some people off of, for example, the 3rd floor and put them on the 6th floor, from an underventilated zone into an overventilated zone. And by doing this, and changing how we utilize each of these spaces actually improve the building as a whole without needing to completely rip out and replace the entire mechanical systems in the building. So I do believe there's probably some low-hanging fruit, and we should definitely not give up on our old buildings. They're important for a number of reasons, and occupant health and well-being is also important. So we need to find a way to make these two coexist together. And I think it can be done.